win and all, but man, I hope Soup's okay. I know, kind of puts a damper on things, eh? But do you think he's gonna believe him when they tell him how they won? Hi, kids! Victorious puppies! This team is ruining my life! Why do I watch hockey? Stress relief! We can, and we will! Here's another one! We're all getting treats! What do you call again? Victory puppies? Yeah! The Leafs win! 5-4 in overtime! Kinda, over the New Jersey Devils. I've never seen anything like that in my entire life. What about the Chris Russell goal? That's a very good point. That was a road game. That was a 5-4 Leafs win. It was not in overtime, man. That was the biggest post-Christmas game that ever post-Christmased. Let's talk about that shinny and or pond hockey and or borderline bandy. Look, I don't care what you call it. It was 2 points, but it was pretty ugly. Before the game even starts, we have some information, okay? We got some new look lines. The Marner-Matthews-Hyman line is going to stick together. That makes sense on account of they scored 3 goals in less than a minute. Trevor Moore is out indefinitely with a concussion. That sucks on so many levels. He was out for a while, just ready to come back, and then it sounded like he got injured at practice, and he played a game afterwards, which is no bueno. Brooks called up, Soup's in the hospital, so it sounds like they're gonna need him. And Michael Hutchinson is in net. And I'm sorry, if you can't play Michael Hutchinson against the New Jersey Devils, then you cannot play him. As soon as the game starts, I'm like, alright, Leafs look like the better team, but the further along it goes, I'm like, oh, they're not crisp at all. We say a lot of things about professional athletes, oh, they make millions of dollars, this is their entire life. No, they're people. You ever take a few days off work and then go back? It's awful. Yeah, I still show up. Yeah, are you good at your job? Are you crisp? Are you hungover? What's that I heard behind the screen? A lot of no-no-yas? Well, the Leafs weren't crisp. I didn't think the Devils were crisp either. The Devils haven't been crisp all season, and you get the Devils, who always play a carnival game, going up against the Leafs, who just had an 8-6 final on a children's game day, playing after the Christmas break. Oh, you know it's going to be ridiculous. I'm surprised they let them play with sticks and nets. Before I talk about this game, I don't bust this out every game, but I think this situation calls for it. New Jersey Devils fans, if I were you, come on, how don't you just laugh? How don't you just laugh? What's that? Oh, because you gave up 2 really high second-round picks for PK Subban. Listen, at least they weren't first! The Devils and Red Wings, there's no comparison. The Red Wings meant to suck. The Devils are doing this on accident. And yet, they could still surprise teams at any moment because they have some skill, they have some building blocks. I'm wondering what's going on. Hughes, Hischier, Blackwood looks like he's pretty good when he's facing shots from the other team. They remind me of the Leafs a little bit, except their defense is somehow worse. Wait, I think I was trying to make you feel better with this. I know that Ray Shero used his bullet and he fired John Hines and now he's got Nezradine in there. I think the Devils are at least playing better. I'm sorry, but I don't know how you make the moves that the Devils made in this summer, had the hope that the Devils had coming into the season, and stink this bad and keep your job if you're Ray Shero. People talk about, well, he's got until the deadline, or well, he's got until the draft, or the summer. Man, if you're not sure, can him now. Well, it's easy to say, but you gotta bring in a new guy, and that new guy won't be prepared at all. Anyone worth hiring as your NHL GM has been like peeking at scouting reports and watching hockey games. And second of all, the New Jersey Devils management group has been prepared and still made a bad team. If I were you, when I was not yelling for the GM to be fired, I would just be focusing on Blackwood, Hischier, and Hughes. As long as they're doing fine, the Devils will be fine. That's how I would look at it if I were you. Now, about 4.5 minutes into the game, I'm looking at the TV and going, ha! The Devils suck. The Leafs should win this easily. Tavares and Muzzin get caught up in a sloppy play. Muzzin looked slow and confused the whole time. Nico Hischier gets it wide open and alone in the slot. Devils fans, what I tell you, he's not going to miss from there. 1-0 Devils, because of course, the Leafs need to answer back, and they do, in the form of Cody Ceci getting cross-checked in the face. Don't, do that. It's amazing. Whenever something like that happens, there's always someone in my mentions like, what's happened to hockey? What are you talking about, what's happened to hockey? That's clearly a penalty. Back in the day, the hockey I grew up watching, that's not a call. He was hiding a cattle prod in his sleeve. So anyway, the Leafs get a power play, and it was the worst experience of my life. The Leafs couldn't get anything going. They couldn't get into the Devil zone. I thought John Tavares was going to strangle someone straight up. All game long, I noticed, until his goal that he scored, which was much later on. Every Every pass to John Tavares was straight into his feet. And I'm not talking about when he's standing in front of the net hoping for a tap-in. I'm talking about like at the blue line, screaming at the TV like, yeah, do the drop back again. No, not really. Sure enough, the second unit's out there. Zach Hyman with a greasy goal. What I tell you, man? He gets another one, and it's 1-1. I tweeted that Zach Hyman was on a near 40-goal pace, and people dunked on me, because Jonas Siegel pointed out that he's actually on pace for 28, which is still mind-blowing. However, Zach Hyman has 9 goals in 20 games. That's how many games he's played. 9 divided by 20 equals 0.45 times 82, which is an 82-game pace. He would have 36.9 goals, but that's not a thing, so it'd be 37. All right, you happy now? You made me do math, and I'm upset about it. And shortly after that, you know, Nylander had such a Nylander game in this one, because I'm looking at the paper and I'm going, Tavares with Nylander and Soup. It could work. And I watched the whole game and I'm like, boy, sometimes you need more out of him. And then I watched this goal and he's the little thing king. He uses his body to swipe the puck right off Sami Vatanen, has patience, finds Tavares at the point, Tavares puts it on, Soup with the tip, and they got the lead. Now seems like as good a time as any to talk about what happened to Soup rather than when it happened chronologically. Jesper Bratt falls over, his skate comes up, slashes Mikheyev's right wrist. He's a left-handed shot, so that's his top hand. I suppose that's better. The ideal hand to cut was neither of them. Blood everywhere instantly. It's never good when you see a guy head straight off. The worst I remember for a Leaf anyway is Daryl Boyce going straight off. If you remember, you remember. If you don't Google it. Here, let me help you. You ever smashed and split apart a Terry's chocolate orange? Alright, imagine if that was a nose! Here's the official statement from the Leafs. Leafs forward Ilya Mikheyev suffered a significant laceration to his wrist and is being transported to a local hospital for further evaluation and assessment. And of course, Ilya Mikheyev's going to be spending the night in the hospital in New Jersey while the team heads back to Toronto. On the broadcast, they were saying the initial, and that super duper initial assessment was that it shouldn't be too serious. What I assume that means, and this is a complete guess, is that no ligaments were damaged, which I think is the most important thing. Gonna steal something out of the LFR questions. After what happened to the Ice Dogs goalie, Clutterbuck, Clutterbuck one was bad, and Mikheyev, think the NHL should start looking at better protection against skate blade injuries, like wrist, neck guards, cut-resistant equipment, etc. It's weird, that like yellow wrist stuff, I don't even know what it's called. I know a lot of players don't really like playing with it. And that's another thing I hear from people who played hockey growing up, like, oh, you ever tried wearing a neck guard? Oh, it's so uncomfortable. Oh, neck guard. And it's not like Soup's the only one. I'm always talking about Travis Dermott. Man, you can see up to like his elbow every shift. You can't prevent everything. At the end of the day, it's a ridiculously high-speed game with sharp skates on everyone's feet, and sometimes their feet come up. Accidents are gonna happen. What happened in Niagara, what happened to Clutterbuck, it's just super unfortunate. The one I'm worried about is the neck, man. We can't be having Richard Zedniks happening. We can't be having Clint Malarchuks happening. We can't keep rolling the dice. And even a neck guard probably doesn't prevent everything, so I don't know what the answer is, but hockey's an interesting sport. There's so much equipment, right? Even some of the training stuff people are coming out with, there's always room in anything for innovation. So if anyone's got any ideas on how to prevent this stuff, I think everyone's all ears. Now, getting back to the game and going through it a little quicker. So the Leafs take a tripping call, and on that play, Muzzin appears to be laboring. He appears to be hurt. In that moment, I thought Sheldon Keefe made a mistake leaving Muzzin out there for the penalty kill. Muzzin thought he was fine. That's great. How about you go to the bench and be fine for the next shift? Mere seconds into the penalty kill, he roofs the thing over the glass, and now it's a big 5-on-3. Sami Vatanen blasted on off Heischer's foot and right to a wide open Nikita Gusev. I don't know what Hutch is supposed to do there, and that's legitimate tied game. It's one thing if you're out of position, it's another if someone redirects the puck with their skate. What are you gonna do? The Leafs answer back. I like this broken line. I don't know if this was just after the penalty kill, but it was Kerfoot, Kapanen, and Tavares. Kerfoot, Greg Millen said he loved the game that he was having no less than 5,000 times on the broadcast, but I actually agreed with them. He interrupts the play in the Leaf zone. Kasperi Kapanen gets the puck to Tavares, who gets it to Kerfoot. Bank pass off the boards for Kapanen, who is a hilarious player, and you can do goofy stuff like that because he's so fast. Flies in on Blackwood, scores! Blackwood way overcommitted to one side. Maybe he thought Kapanen was going around. I don't know. But Cappy takes advantage, and that's a wicked goal, 3-2. You know, the Leafs wingers have looked so good. The emergence of Soup, I hope he's okay and not out long term. Engvall has been so good. Timoshov's a legitimate NHL player for sure. Moore's still got to come back. Jansson's still got to come back. And Kapanen keeps getting shifted around the lineup, and it's pretty clear he's not really going to survive anywhere other than third line right wing. Or at very least, stop putting him on the left of Matthews. It doesn't work. So when I saw him on the right side on the third line, I was like, this is perfect. This is where he belongs. And sure enough, he scores. I know points aren't the be all and end all, but he's got 20 points in 39 games so far, flying around the lineup, playing in a bunch of roles that he's really struggling with, and he's still on pace for 42 points in kills penalties. That's a useful player, man. All these names I keep hearing thrown out there, Kapanen, Janssen, I've been thrown out Kerfoot. I'm taking it all back because I can't picture the Leafs going into the playoffs without any of those guys. But as a wise man once said on the podcast, you gotta give something to get something. Later on, Matthews and Riley, a dog's breakfast, just a mess, and they give up a scoring chance that Hutch is able to stop. From there, Barry's got a chance to clear it, or at very least get it out of the danger zone, and Palmieri just cleans his clock. And this is another example of a Hutchinson goal where I'm like, oh, it'd be great if you saved it. But from a defensive standpoint, this is not good enough, guys. This is 2-on-4, and both Devils are eligible for wide open scoring chances. How? Palmieri rips it past Hutchinson. Yuck, yuck, yuck. 3-3. It's okay. Leafs need to answer and get that lead back. And by that, I mean Kapanen has to completely cough it up at the blue line. It's a 2-on-1 the other way. Barry can't stop it. Kapanen can't get back in time. And the Devils score to make it 4-3. And now I'm in a weird position because I sent a tweet that a couple people got mad at, and you are right. And now here we are again. You can't blame them for any of them except the game's half over. This was just at the 10-minute mark of the second period. And you've got 4 goals against. This is the thing. I don't watch a lot of Hutch games and go, wow, he sucks. I just look at the scoreboard and go, he's allowed 4 again. But you look at the ones he allowed in this one, the only one you really hope you get a save on, I think, is Palmieri. A lot of people perfectly legitimately said, well, Freddie gave up 6 in their last game. Worth mentioning, I didn't like that. Watching Hutchinson get lit up and then trying to figure out which ones he should have stopped is making me wonder, is Freddie the best goalie in the NHL? For real. Because the Leafs in their own zone, ooh-fa. The next generation game, it's an afternoon game and it's right before the Christmas break. A lot of teams checked out. Check it out. 14 goals. I get it. This is the first game back after the Christmas break, and most games with the New Jersey Devils are a carnival these days. I get that. Second half of a back-to-back against the Rangers, I don't care what the circumstance is, needs to be clean as a whistle. This is the puck. Your net, bad. Their net, good. That advice is out there and available for, anyone who may need it. Third period, oh my god, please don't lose to the Devils. Power play, alright, that's a start. Willie with the puck, he's got time and space. Blackwood kind of deep in his net, and guys, he had 47 goals last year, dude. Willie over to John Tavares, who has scored more difficult goals in practice. That's absurd, and it's 4-4. Goals like that make you angry that they even have 4. About a minute and a half left in the game. Miles Wood and Zach Hyman both battling for the puck. Miles Wood takes Hyman down. That's ridiculous, and the Leafs will go to the power play. No. What are they called? No! Wood called for the hold. Hyman called for Zach Hyman! You gave Zach Hyman an embellishment call. I once saw that guy eat and digest a puck, crap it out, and sign it for a fan. Are you serious? Whoa. Wow. Wow. That's truly embarrassing. That is a really, really bad call. And we go to overtime, 4-on-4 or whatever the hell. Except no, we don't. About a minute later, Blake Coleman slashes the stick out of Alex Kerfoot's hand. That one's a little bit more controversial than the cross-check to the face. Whatever, that's karma. And the Leafs head to overtime with the power play. Now, of course, the Devils kill that penalty off, and overtime was cool and normal. Leafs keep getting stopped. Jack Hughes flying the other way, though, but stopped, yoink, by Willie. Willie driving the net. Kapanen's out there with him, but he's not in a good scoring position. He's not open for a pass. Willie doesn't really have any options other than go around the net, which I don't think is a great option either. So he tries for the windmill thing in the slot, and it doesn't work. Whatever. At least it's not a scoring chance going the other way. That was great defense in the offensive zone. The David Seamus said, what? They're celebrating. Why are they celebrating? Ken Danico's call on the American broadcast says it all. I think Damon put this in his own net. He could be the governor of Minnesota with a voice like that. I guess the Leafs win. William Nylander gets the goal, technically. His 15th goal of the season. Assisted? It was a little bit assisted. Sure, whatever. Shut up. Take it. The Leafs win their 6th straight for the first time since 2017. Thank you, Luke Fox Jukebox, for that. Questions. Did you get any Leaf stuff for Christmas? No, I think people saw that I got the signed Felix Potvin mask and they're like, I'm not going to top that. When I scored my goal at the Easter Seals thing, I threw my dad the puck. It was the first game he'd ever seen me play. I visited recently. I got my mom to smuggle the puck out of the house and I taped it up because I'm a child and I got a little display case for it and gave it back to my dad. That's the closest hockey gift I got. Why do I like the Devils? Because at this point they just make me sad. I'm sorry. As a Leaf fan, do you understand how angry that makes me that you said that? Maybe you forget, or maybe you're just really young and don't remember the Devils running the league for like 20 years. That's why you like the Devils. Now they suck and later they won't suck. Deal with it. Ooh, who's winning the World Juniors? I'm so conflicted because you gotta cheer for Canada, right? But they don't have any Leaf prospects, so I'm watching the US and I'm like, I can't cheer for the US, but Nick Robertson is a Leaf prospect and also a forward. And of course, Rasmus Sandin is on Sweden. You know what? I really like Canada, but there's something about the World Juniors. They're so goofy. You can't be great all the way through unless it's 2005. You gotta struggle a bit to win. So part of me feels like it might be the US's year to win it. Can we take pleasure in the inevitable dang it's episode? Oh, when the Leafs won, the first thing I did was text producer Drew. And for those of you who don't know much about my Sportsnet content, I'll put up a little playlist at the end of this video. It'll be somewhere dancing around my head or on the end screen because I made a lot of stuff for Sportsnet and there's still more stuff coming that I shot a while ago and you're gonna like it, gosh darn it. I'll end this with thank you very much for everyone who sent me that they just got the book for Christmas or whatever because that was really nice. That was a gift to me, I think. It made me feel happy, therefore it's my gift. So I will just say that this team is ruining my life, but I love them. How I Became a Professional Hockey Fan is still available everywhere the books are sold. If your local bookstore is sold out of them, you call them and say, hey, stop being sold out of them, get some more. Just got an email that said This Team Is Ruining My Life was picked as one of Audible's top bios and memoirs for 2019. The audiobook is still up there and available. And that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you liked this video. Click subscribe. If you really liked it, tell all your friends. That's a dang it. For real, guys, this team is ruining my life, but I love them, and right now I really love them. The book is available in print. It's available in ebook, audiobook. I'm the guy who reads it. Check it out. I think it's pretty good. And also the playlist that is probably on the screen right now. Yeah, there it is. Click it. Dare ya.